Hey, everyone. I never thought I'd be sharing a story like this, but life has a funny way of surprising you. My name is Priyanka, I'm 19, and I'm currently a freshman in college. I'm a total chemistry nerd. There's something about reactions and bonds that just makes sense to me. I've always pictured my future in a lab coat. My home life is pretty standard, or so I thought. I live with my mom and my older brother, Arjun. Arjun is 21 and goes to the same university as me, though he's an engineering major. Here's the kicker. Arjun isn't my biological brother. After my dad passed away, my mom remarried Arjun's dad. Our families merged, and while things changed, I never really felt like a stepsister. He was just my big brother, the guy who drove the motorcycle we commuted on every morning to beat the 9 a.m. rush. Our routine was clockwork. Mom and dad, my stepdad, left for work by 8 a.m., leaving the house to us. We shared a bathroom, which meant a strict schedule. I'd shower first because, let's be real, I'd take longer, and he'd go after. Then we'd lock up and ride to campus. My life was calm, organized, and predictable. Until the day everything shifted. Call it an accident, call it fate, but it changed us forever. It started like any other morning. Parents were gone. I locked the bathroom door, my sanctuary. I stripped down and turned on the shower, letting the cold water wake me up. Suddenly, I saw a shadow under the door. Usually, I'd brush it off as a trick of the light, but this shadow, it lingered. It moved. My heart started pounding. Was someone standing right outside? Was someone watching? The thought that it might be Arjun terrified me. Not because I was scared of him, but because it shattered the image I had of him as my protector. I finished showering in a panic, dressed quickly, and stormed out. The shadow was gone. The suspicion ate at me. Was I paranoid? Or was my stepbrother invading my privacy? The next morning, I had to know. After our parents left, I set up my phone camera in a hidden spot in the hallway, angled toward the bathroom door. I went inside, turned on the shower, and waited. Sure enough, the shadow returned. I knew I had caught whatever or whoever it was on tape. When I watched the footage later in my room, my stomach dropped. It was undeniable. The ride to university that day was agonizing. I wrapped my arms around him on the bike, not out of affection, but out of sheer confusion and fear. He felt me shaking. "You okay? You're holding on tight," he yelled over the wind. "I'm just off today," I lied. That night, the secret was burning a hole in my chest. I couldn't sleep. At 10 p.m., I did something impulsive. I sent the video file to Arjun's phone.
No caption.
Just the video. The minutes felt like hours. Did he see it? Was he asleep? Was he ignoring it? Silence. The next day was Sunday. Breakfast was excruciatingly normal. Arjun looked calm, which drove me crazy. Finally, around 10 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Arjun. I watched the video. That was it.
No explanation. No apology.
By lunch, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Arjun ate in silence and retreated to his room. I couldn't take it anymore. I waited for our parents to settle down. Then I marched into his room. He was standing by the window, looking lost. "Did you see it?" I asked, my voice trembling. He turned around, and to my surprise, his eyes were glassy. He looked broken. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I don't know what came over me. I should have been angry. I should have yelled. But seeing him like that, something switched in my brain. I walked over and hugged him. "We all make mistakes," I said softly. "Besides, we aren't actually blood-related, are we?" He pulled back, shocked. "Priyanka, we're still family. We have to keep our boundaries." I don't know what possessed me. Maybe it was the adrenaline or something deeper I hadn't acknowledged, but I smirked. "Oh, now you remember boundaries? Where were they when you were outside the door?" I winked at him. "Trying something once doesn't hurt, right? I'll be waiting for you tomorrow evening." I left him standing there, stunned. That night at dinner, Arjun suddenly announced, "There's a sports event at the university tomorrow. I'm not going." Mom looked at me. "Well, Priyanka shouldn't go alone then." "Okay," Dad said. "You two stay home." I caught Arjun's eye across the table. He gave me a tiny, nervous smile. The next day, the house was empty. I walked into his room. "So," I teased, "you skipped class to hang out with me? What's the plan?" He laughed, the tension finally breaking. "You said trying something once doesn't hurt." I didn't want to miss the chance. We spent the day talking, really talking. The lines between siblings and something more began to blur. It wasn't just about attraction. It was about a connection we had suppressed for years. "If our friendship is this deep," he said, holding my hand, "why let a label stop us? I've never felt this way about anyone else. I feel complete with you." I looked at him and realized I felt the same. The fear of society, of our parents, it all faded into the background. "I'm scared," I admitted. "This changes everything." "Change isn't bad," he promised. "It's just new." From that day on, everything changed. We were cautious. We kept it a secret. But the dynamic shifted from brother-sister to partners. A few days later, he called me to the roof. He was standing there with a single rose. It was cheesy, sure, but it felt real. "I don't want to hide how I feel anymore," he said. "I love you, Priyanka. And if you're with me, I can face whatever the family or the world throws at us." I took the rose. "If you're ready to fight for this, so am I. We know it won't be easy. We know people will judge us." But sitting in a cafe the other day, holding hands under the table, I realized that love isn't about what's standard. It's about trust, respect, and finding the person who understands you, even if you find them in the most unexpected way.
So, that's my story.
It's complicated, it's messy, but it's ours.